Manchester United 3-1 Southampton. Amad Diallo nets stunning 12-minute hat-trick to save under-par Red Devils. Every time I'm on the pitch, I want to fight for this club. The words from Amad Diallo were on the front of last night's match programme alongside a photo of Manchester United's new darling. And thank goodness for United, Diallo did fight. Because for more than 80 minutes here at Old Trafford they were second best to bottom-of-the-table Southampton, a team that is still on course to become statistically the worst in Premier League history. United trailed to a Manuel Ugarte own goal. They were facing a fourth top-flight defeat in a row, equaling an unwanted record that has stood since 1930 and a sixth in 8 games under new head coach Ruben Amorim, who could only look on in agony. Then Diallo decided to take matters into his own hands with a sensational 12-minute hat-trick. The little Ivorian, who has emerged as a huge presence under Amorim with big goals against Manchester City and Liverpool this season to earn a new contract. But this was something else altogether. With United in dire straits and Saints on the verge of a deserved win, he took matters into his own hands. In the 82nd minute, Joshua Zirkzee found Diallo with a pass and he drove at Kyle Walker-Peters on the left. Diallo got a kind ricochet off the Saints defender and didn't need a second invitation, seizing on the loose ball to bury it past Aaron Ramsdale. The killer goal arrived in the 89th minute, latching onto a 1-2 with Christian Eriksen to poke home from close range and send Old Trafford into rapture. Then in the 4th minute of added time, Diallo crowned an unbelievable performance as he stole the ball of Taylor Harwood-Bellis to score the third. This was one of those nights when it was hard to say whether Southampton rose to the challenge or United were so bad that they made the worst team in the Premier League look good. Thanks to Diallo, they were able to build on their encouraging recent results and performances at the Emirates and Anfield. It had lifted the mood here but also raised questions about the mentality of players who could go toe-to-toe with Arsenal and Liverpool yet lose 4 home games in a row to Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth and Newcastle. Amorim was right to call them out and demand more of the same. If the United players were in any doubt about their head coach's expectations, Amorim made it clear in his match program notes. In terms of fight, heart and hunger, we have seen the real Manchester United in the last 2 matches, he wrote. In the past month we have been to the Etihad Stadium, Anfield and the Emirates, 3 of the toughest places to play in the country, and taken positive outcomes from each one. To do that requires quality and character, but the job now is to show that in every single game, regardless of the opposition. With 6 points and a goal difference of -32, Southampton arrived at Old Trafford with the worst record after 20 games in Premier League history. They had scored 12 goals, the lowest in the top 5 divisions of English football. But the mind drifted back to United's 3-0 win at St Mary's in mid-September when Andre Onana's penalty save from Cameron Archer at 0-0 turned the game in their favour, with Saints were well on top. Small margins and all that. Onana was back in goal last night, replacing Altay Bayındır following the Turks' heroics in the penalty shootout win at Arsenal in the FA Cup. Amad Diallo covered for the suspended Diogo Dalot after he was sent off at the Emirates, showing his versatility by playing at right wing-back, and Lenny Yoro took over from Harry Maguire, who was only fit enough for a place on the bench. The challenge for United wasn't just in terms of their mentality, but their ability to prevail in games where they had far more of the ball. It is fair to say they came up well short in the first half. After a bright start from the home side, it was Southampton who grew in confidence. Kamaldeen Sulemana gave Yoro a torrid time on the right, and he turned United's 59 million man in the 12th minute and forced a fine save from Onana before Mateus fired straight at the United keeper. It was no surprise that United were better on the break, and twice they sprang out with Bruno Fernandes the provider. First, he released Rasmus Højlund and he squared for Alejandro Garnacho to side foot wide in front of goal. Then, Fernandes sent Kobbie Mainoo clear, but he couldn't find Garnacho with a simple pullback. When Garnacho had shots blocked in quick succession by Jan Bednarek and Taylor Harwood-Bellis, it seemed only a matter of time before United would score. But Saints went on the offensive again and Onana had to pull off a brilliant double save. Tyler Dibbling had tormented United at St Mary's and he did it again here. But Saints went on the offensive again and Onana had to pull off a brilliant double save. Tyler Dibbling had tormented United at St Mary's and he did it again here, turning Lisandro Martinez and past 3 defenders to force another excellent stop from the Cameroonian, who produced an even better one to keep out Fernandes' follow-up with his chest from point-blank range. But Onana couldn't rescue United again when they conceded from another set-piece 3 minutes before the break after Matthijs de Ligt scrambled the ball out for a corner. Matthijs delivered from the right and Dibbling rose in front of Martinez to flick on. The ball hit Manuel Ugarte on the back as he turned and went past Onana as he tried to flap it away. "We've scored a goal, we've scored a goal," sang the jubilant Saints fans. Amorim sent on Antony at the interval, taking off the anonymous Menu and pulling Fernandes back into the middle. They were swiftly followed by Joshua Zirkzee and Toby Collier as Saints began the second period with even greater intent. United rallied and Garnacho drove across to the far post where Antony slid in unmarked but somehow guided the ball into the hands of Aaron Ramsdale rather than over the line. It was a staggering miss. Ramsdale then rushed out to deny Fernandes one-on-one before Diallo snatched an equalizer in the 82nd minute. Zirkzee found him with a pass and the young Ivorian drove at Kyle Walker-Peters on the left. Diallo got a kind ricochet off the Saints defender and didn't need a second invitation, seizing on the loose ball to bury it past Ramsdale.